Panthers Nation, what up, though? It's Aaron Duncan here with the necessary bluntness sports talk, recap and analysis of the Panthers and what goes down on this channel. So I just wanted to get into this next film breakdown. This is a very thorough film breakdown. So if you're watching this, get you a snack, get you some juice, a Capri Sun, some goldfish, some Cheez-Its, barbecue chips, whatever tickles your fancy, and let's go ahead and buckle in because I wanted to give a pretty thorough breakdown to start off the season to show what's going on with this offense because stuff was bad. And I want to paint the picture with some statistics first. The Panthers had 135 passing yards. That was the sixth lowest in the NFL this week. In terms of separation, the Panthers had 2.9 yards of separation, which was the third lowest in the NFL. The sack percentage, they had 4 sacks on the day. In terms of the pressure percentage, Bryce Young was under pressure 40% of his dropbacks. That's the 9th highest rate in the NFL. The Saints blitzed the Panthers 37.1% of the time. That was the 4th highest in the NFL. And of course, the key numbers that we talked about is the 2.7 seconds or less to getting the ball out. In terms of time to throw, Bryce Young had a time to throw of 3.03 seconds, well higher than that 2.7 benchmark. So the ball wasn't coming out fast. They were blitzing. There was not a lot of separation down the field. The Saints blitzed the Panthers a lot. That just paints the picture of how the passing game was. But I just wanted to list these stats out to paint a picture of how bad things were, because it does match what we're going to see on the film here just shortly. But this video is sponsored by mybookie.ag. Mybookie.ag is bringing winning season back. So even though the Panthers may not be doing good, you can still pick up wins. And now they've made things way easier because this season they're pulling out all the stops with incredible promotions like weekly risk-free boosts and bets on Thursday, meaning where you can wager without a sweat. So if your bet hits, you win. If you don't, forget about it. MyBookie is going to refund your wager completely. And so even though the Panthers may not be having a ton of success, that doesn't mean you can still get some money here and make games a little bit more interesting, because when you have a little bit of action on there, it makes things a lot more fun. So I'm going to hook you guys up with a 100% deposit match on your first deposit up to $1,000. Use my code UBST and go to the link down below in the description to sign up for MyBookie. I will be giving out picks here on the channel on my Wednesday streams every week, of course. So if you want to make some money with me, we made some money last week. I took Bryce Young over rushing yards, and he was running for his life. So we made money there, even though the Panthers lost. It wasn't all bad for me because we made a little bit of cash. So with MyBookie now, the loyalty pays off because the more you play, the more you win with their rewards program, MyBookie Plus. It's all good. MyBookie has you covered. So you can bet on anything, anytime, anywhere, and make sure this season is a winning season for you, even if it may or may not be for the Carolina Panthers. All right, let's go with the first play of the game, man. You guys know what happened. This is an interception by Bryce Young. We're going to go play action with crossers. I like the motion that we did. It's a healthy amount of motion from Dave Canales today. Bryce can hit that back foot, pull the trigger, sails on him. When you play man coverage, man, you got to be a little bit more perfect. You know, the windows are tight. The opportunities are going to be tight. You got to put it on receivers. They have a deep safety, so tips and overthrows because of the tight man coverage is what happens. That's why teams run man coverage, tips and overthrows, because it's so tight. You see how tight the coverage is. Tips and overthrows, you always have safeties there, and that's exactly what happens. So let's run it back from here. Let's check out Deontay to see the route. It was a little bit tough. Wasn't a big window there. Bryce was pretty decisive with it. Look at the anticipation. The hands are separating now. And I talked about it before. Bryce throws with so much anticipation that if you're not on the same page with the receiver, your accuracy is going to look horrible. This one indeed sailed on him. Maybe if he throws it later, Deontay has a chance to actually get off his feet and make a play on this. But Deontay's head's still not around. It's around now. The ball is way too high, but you can see the ball right here. Deontay doesn't even see it. He kind of sees it out of the corner of his eye, but it's gone by then. I don't know, if he really had a chance anyway, but like I said, he threw with so much anticipation and is off target. It's going to look this bad because this doesn't even look close. One more time from this angle just so you can see how it sails on him. Play action. It's ahead of him and high. High and ahead. Yeah, he probably wouldn't even had a chance to get up and get it. Tips and overthrows. That's what happens. Turn the ball over on the first play of regulation. Well, of your offensive drive. Not good. Not an ideal start, to say the least, for Bryce. He looked comfortable hitting the back foot. He looked decisive with this, letting it rip, but it sailed on him. It doesn't really look like, of course, you see them running this play action, and I thought they did a lot for this play action and different protections to try to move the pocket and use angles more than just straight drops. Jatavian's a little slow getting over across the formation, but still does enough. I think Bryce gets it off in time that the throw wasn't affected by the pressure, even though he gets hit a little bit after. The throw wasn't affected by the pressure. He just sailed it. All right, so next drive, the Panthers get the ball back. They came out and ran a couple they came out of this next formation still running more motion. So I was really, like I said, the shifts and motion that they did, it was cool to actually see them doing that with that lack of motion and items we had yesterday. But I thought this play was very awkward, very clunky. Now, if you remember, against Buffalo in preseason, when Bryce rolled out, he hit Thielen, and it got us into the red zone until we got into the goal situation and scored. This is a similar play. You're going to have smash. You're going to have Thielen going to run the corner route, but he's going to run a stop to kind of just adjust it. So instead of running the corner, he's going to stop. Usually smash, you have a corner route up top, and like some kind of hitch or flat route here, you read the corner. If the corner jumps up on the flat, you throw it behind him to the corner. If he drips back under the corner, throw it underneath. So this time, we just run the corner stop with a boot. And the way it happens is you use Jatavian Sanders, just like in the preseason, to secure the edge off of that. But, which killed us pretty much all day, they ran a nickel blitz or an outside linebacker blitz. He looks like a big nickel, in my opinion, number 6. I'm not really sure. I think it's their big nickel, but I haven't seen too many DBs wear turf tape, so I'm assuming this is a linebacker. But the linebacker coming off the edge, you have somebody coming free. Now, this pre-snap, is there a check? How much freedom at the line does Bryce have? I know Bryce does kill some plays at times. He really sets the protection from what we understand, for what we heard. I'm not sure what type of checks and answers that he has in there, but to me, I don't want to boot into a blitz. So how do we get out of this? Does the coach give him options to get out of this? Or does Bryce just make the wrong decision? Because you can see the guy, he's not hiding that he's blitzing. Like, he's not even like, he's kind of out there hanging, but he's not hiding that he's blitzing. And so, yeah, Jatavian Sanders blocks down to secure the edge. And Bryce, if the defender wasn't there, yeah, Bryce would be able to get to the outside just like against Buffalo in preseason. And Thielen is fairly open after that stop. But the fact that you have a free runner on a nickel blitz again, like we saw all game, Bryce can't get out there. So he tries to take off and runs in the moat. I just don't think functionally this is a good play. You probably want to get out of this. This is a good defensive call. He talked about them not having answers for the adjustments that the Saints ran. We ran play action away. I don't know if this is an RPO. We could have had an RPO built in on this where you can actually hand the ball off, because that would have been a good time to hand the ball off. You got 5 men in the box. Look, DeMario Davis, he didn't even react to the run. So you'd have 5 linemen and 5 defenders in a run play. So maybe you build in a run play on this so it turns into an RPO more than anything. That way, if the overhang is there, you can run a different play. That's just my thought process. I'm not an offensive coordinator. I don't know what checks and balances they have in terms of making adjustments. I don't know what liberties Bryce Young has, but that's just what I think, and it looks pretty obvious. Couple plays later, we have a 3rd down. This is Bryce Young. He's going to miss on this one as well on a deep crosser. I thought this scheme was pretty good to get Deontay across the field, win with speed out of a bunch. You have a switch release, and the switch release, you see Thielen goes first, and this is a man beater. They're in man coverage. Everybody's looking at their man straight ahead. One guy's up close to Alontae Taylor, the nickel. And once you get off of switch releases, you switch. Instead of just going straight forward, you switch. So Thielen goes up and Deontay goes underneath him. It should create a little bit of a natural rub because this defender has to go off of Thielen's butt. Thielen does a good job actually getting out there as slow as he is. Deontay probably was a half a step slow out of his stance. You can see Thielen's already taken off. Deontay's still running, and the ball is halfway to Bryce. If Deontay goes a little bit faster, he could probably get that defender to run into Thielen completely, and he's wide open. Regardless, he's still pretty open, but Bryce is at the back of his drop. The pressure's in his face. He tries to throw a fadeaway jump shot and misses. Now, Bryce, he has to do better navigating the pocket, man, because just because you get to the top of your drop and you have pressure there, yeah, there could be a meeting there, but we invested in the interior O-line for so you can have somewhere to step up. And there was room to step up. This was a blitz. They only ended up bringing 4. They backed off or they bluffed and ended up only bringing 4. I thought they did a solid job interior wise passing it off and getting those guys hemmed up. But Moton's kind of fighting for his life. But Icky, of course, is struggling too at the top of that drop because Chase Young is running the hoop. He gets that, he's full extension on Icky, and then he rips through. Moton's getting pretty much the same treatment as well, but he's kind of holding on. But Bryce should probably shuffle once he gets to the top of the pocket. Shuffle because you have time. Because yes, Deontay is running, but even if you just climb and run and throw it on the run, running forward like we've seen him do before, you can do that instead of throwing a fadeaway jump shot and still getting hit to the face, and then you're selling it because your shoulders are fading back. You're trying not to get hit because you're trying to get it away too early, and you're just off there. So let's look at it from behind. You can probably see the pocket presence or lack thereof even better here. He has to get a little bit more comfortable. You have to trust that interior. Yes, the tackles, Icky's going to get beat around the hoop at times, but do him some favors by stepping up. Like I said, that's why we invested in the interior. Look at where they're anchoring. They're anchoring there. They're doing a good job. You got a wall there. Look at this little alley right here. Bryce could shuffle through. Yeah, he may get grabbed by Chase Young on the run by, but Icky is still trying to force him to the ground. So maybe if Bryce shuffles up into the pocket, he can either reset his feet and trigger to Deontay if he has time, or he can just climb and throw it on the run and get it over the shoulder, maybe give him a little lollipop to go outside shoulder, and Deontay's off to the races. All right, let's keep it pushing. Here's a run play from the next drive, and I just want to show you about the effects of not having a guy like Tommy Tremble or Ian Thomas to play tight end when you're trying to run the ball. So we're going to motion in both tight ends, and I love Jordan Matthews. I love Jatavian Sanders and their potential in the pass game, but when it's trying to get dirty and you're trying to do this is where you lack. Jordan Matthews, we're going to run a zone to our left. What we're looking at, Jordan Matthews is going to have a backside cutoff block for number 6 right here. Number 6 doesn't make the play, but if he could have. I'll just say that. So let's let it roll the tape, because he's going to try to come back and just going to whiff. The physicality just being used in the running game, this is just not something that these guys can function and do. He takes a bad angle, bad placement on that block, and he whiffs. Obviously, the zone track here is a little bit off. I think Damian Lewis here at guard for us should have climbed to the second level and got DeMario Davis and cut him off, but I'm not exactly sure. Like I said, this is zone. He's not even looking that way. So either that or Icky was supposed to climb up to that level, and then Jatavian is supposed to take on Chase Young, who Icky has. Something didn't go right. And I don't know if this is the design cutback, so everybody's just washing everybody down. But you can see Jordan Matthews coming across, takes a bad angle to attack this guy, ducks his head, and just whiffs. Look, DeMario Davis makes the play first, but 6 is there for the assist. It's just a lack of physicality and blocking that you have at tight end, and this is what happens when you're lacking in that department. So a guy like Ian Thomas or Tommy Tremble, who's a little bit better at this stuff, they're not perfect, but they're a little bit more experienced doing that, and they're more suited for run blocking as a tight end. This is what you're missing. All right, here's the first completion for Bryce Young. This is going to be a nice little first down here. The anticipation here, man, this is the Bryce Young that we know. He hits that back foot and just lets it rip, throws it with confidence, throws it with anticipation, reads the coverage, perfect ball placement to get it over the underneath coverage, but also give it to Thielen so he slows down and doesn't get hit. This is the Bryce Young that we know. Throwing these dig routes in these holes in the zone. We'll just freeze it. The C pass pro is solid. Like I said, he hits that back foot and lets it rip. You talk about 2.7. This has got to be 2.7. He's already winding up, and Thielen is not even looking. He's almost looking, but when Bryce hands separate, Thielen's not looking. Puts it in between 2 defenders. Throws it up for Thielen. Doesn't lead him too far. Able to protect himself and move the chains. It's got to feel like a great XL just to get a chunk play right there, move the sticks. We'll watch it from this angle. Protection was pretty solid, but like I said, we got the ball out quick. They're showing blitz, which is what Dennis Allen does, but they back out of it, only bring 4. Bryce gets it out quick. Look at that. Over DeMario Davis, underneath the fender, up high enough for Thielen, but not too high to the fact that he can get down and protect himself, keep his back turned, takes the lick, That's pitch and catch, man. We love that. And I thought this was cool. I just wanted to point this out. I like how they mixed up personnel. They're going to have Brady Christensen in as an eligible receiver. They announced that you can see Brady Christensen at the wing right here off of Moten. And they're going to go a little bit heavy in this formation and run the ball here. I like it. Miles, his indecision and dancing at the second level really kind of bothered me this game. He was hitting the holes pretty decent, but once he got to the second level, he was always looking for the cutback or to get outside instead of just hitting it more downhill. That's what Chuba does. Chuba gets downhill and hit stuff, but you can see this blocking ends up being great. You get a guy like Brady Christensen end up on number 6, and I think I don't know who that is. He's either a tight end or a safety, and that's a mismatch there. Motens gets a good block, solid block there, and look at these holes. Got plenty of lanes. Miles sets it up there. Like I said, get to the second. Let's run downhill. Split them dudes. Don't run into the contact. Just drop your pass and run forward. And that's what no nonsense is what Chuba does. He gets downhill, but that dancing, you could have squeezed out another 3, 4, 5 and gotten physical with those safeties that you're bigger than. So I just thought Miles at times in this game danced a little bit too much. Had some opportunities, but he danced a little bit too much for me. But overall, these are solid blocks right here everywhere. A hat on the hat all across the board. I like using the heavy personnel to kind of lean on these guys a little bit. I thought we should have did a little bit more getting physical with them. Here's another play that kind of reiterates my point about just some of the blocking from the tight ends. And it's the mistakes, man, that really just shoot ourselves in the foot, man. Offense shouldn't be this hard. This is Jatavian Sanders here at the point of attack. We're going to run on 3rd and short. We're going to have a nice little design. I like the little fake kind of the handoff action and pitch it out to Miles. You influence that edge defender. And you're going to leave one guy unblocked, Peyton Turner, and then you're going to have Jatavian Sanders base out the other guy and kind of take him out. So Jatavian Sanders gets a good get off and pushes him out, but he just holds him a little bit too much. And you can see Miles Sanders fake that one step inside to influence the edge defender, and that's enough to get him that step to get outside. Pitch it to Miles. He's able to get downhill, turn the corner, 14-yard game, but we got to come back with the hole. Like I said, I love the design of this. I don't know if I've ever seen this play before. And like I said, there's probably a lot of football I haven't seen, but I haven't seen this design before with the step counter, pitch out. Look at Jatavian Sanders. His hands are a little outside, but I think if he lets go now, he may get away with it. If he lets go now, puts his hands up, he may get a flag for it. He kind of drove the guy to the ground and fell. They were looking for it. It was a lot of home cooking today, but it's just a tough play. But like I said, Jatavian Sanders, more so in this to work on he's not going to be a great blocker. He doesn't have to be. But if you, like I said in the preseason, block with your feet. If he makes this happen and starts turning his hips, they call it high hand. If he takes that left hand that he has on the outside and puts it high and puts the left hand low and starts moving his feet to turn, that's how you turn them. You're turning the guy's shoulder pads, and you're going to turn one left hand high, one right hand low, and you just slowly turn his body while you're driving him. You'll be able to get yourself in body position. That way you don't have to really grab him like that on the outside and hold him. So you can do your work with your feet like I talked about him in the preseason. Do your work with your feet. That way you're not squared up on the block, and he can actually lunge and flop and look for a holding call. If Jatavian Sanders is able to turn, that way his butt is towards Miles because he has that left hand high, right hand low. He's able to get into position. This thing pops. We move the chains, and instead of that, we get a penalty, a holding call, go back, and we're going to show you what happens on the next play. Next play again, Dennis Allen's going to be showing this mugged up look. Again, we could not block a nickel blitz to save her life. So Bryce is going to make a check with the line, bring Miles into the backfield after having 4 wide receiver or empty backfield, and try to bring more help. They have 8 lined up here. So you got either 8's coming and somebody's going to be open quick, or they're going to back out. And they bring 7, and it overwhelms us. We do have 7 in the block, but we don't sort it out correctly, and it goes down. So let's go ahead and run it back. Let's look at the routes, because I think what was displayed here is you want to see somebody quick. Yeah, I know it's 3rd and long, but you need to have a quick outlet. At least give a guy a chance for a short route. Maybe you can throw and get some yards at the catch, break a tackle. There's only 4 guys trying to cover all this room, so there's only so much they can do. So maybe if you throw it short, you have a guy that can get some yak. But you can see now, while Bryce is getting sacked, guys aren't even looking out of their breaks yet. These are long developing routes, and we were never going to have time to do that if they're bringing 7. You don't have to cover that long. They never did. But I think that bringing Miles in was a mistake. Now, Coach Canales talked about Bryce making one bad check. This might have been it. I think if you leave Miles here, even if you just have him run a route and say, hey, don't worry about it, I'm good. If they bring everybody, we'll dump it off to somebody and figure it out. We have 6 in with Ja'Tavion Sanders. If they bring 6, we're good. If they bring 7, they have one less guy in coverage, and we have more weapons than them. Excuse me, if they bring all 8, they are leaving somebody out to dry, so we can make something happen. Then I'll find a way to get the ball off. So I would have probably tried to do that if that's in there. Like I said, I don't know what their checks are. I don't know what's built in for protection. I don't know what. But I would either did that and instead of bringing Miles in like he did to try to get more blockers, I wouldn't have did that. And if you do, maybe put Miles up to the line of scrimmage. But regardless, they had trouble sorting this out. They overload the left side. We got a free runner. It just wasn't sorted out. Now, typically on these protections, and this is just my experience playing running back, and I don't know how they on the NFL level, but I assume the principles are similar. You have a man on man side, and then you have a zone side. So one is a zone, like each lineman has a gap. If a guy comes into to the left side of your gap, if 2 guys come to that same gap, you got to make a way for it to happen. Usually blitzers don't blitz in the same gap, but everybody has a gap on one side and there's a big on big. So as in, like, you have a certain man, no matter where that man blitzes from, you have that guy. When I play running back, whatever side I lined up on as the running back was the man side. So I would think that, okay, Miles is on the man side. And I thought that, okay, hey, if that's the case, I would have hoped that maybe Miles would have went to the overload side, and that way you have a man for a man. They have 4 over there, but if they slide this way as a zone, they only have 3 guys. So maybe they can't pick up all 4 or even 5 that are right there. But if you have man on man, typically as a running back, you pick up the most inside linebacker that's rushing no matter what. They're not going to put you on a D lineman. They're going to put you on a linebacker. That's why I think, okay, with only 2 linebackers showing here, and especially with Ja'Tavion Sanders sitting in, I thought it would have been better to put Miles maybe on the other side and maybe have this left side of the line of scrimmage with Ja'Tavion Sanders being that zone side, and then the right side being the man on man, go inside out. Let Miles get the most inside guy, which would be the Mario Davis. Let Damian Lewis get Chase Young, and then Icky would slide out to the most inside guy outside of those 2, and then you sort it out with Mario Davis. And that's kind of what happens, because you see, had Miles been over there, you do a little bit different. And like I said, I think this was the slide side and the big side was on here. So I just think that the protection was, because you see 3 guys sliding that way, and you can see Icky lining up on a man. He's not looking at the other guy. He's looking at a man. So I think that was the man on man side. So I think Miles should have probably been on the right side. If you do that, Miles's man is the most inside threat. So maybe Miles would take the inside guy and then Icky slides out or whatever. But since there's only 2 guys and Icky knows that it's only 2 versus 4, you take the most inside guy. The most inside guy has the shortest track to the quarterback, and you sort it out. But Miles really had nobody to block. So I think Ja'Tavion Sanders chipping and then everybody else having the slide side, the zone side, you see what happens. Robert Hunt is not looking. He's protecting that little gap, but he's still looking outside because there's another gap. So you have gaps and you have man. You see why Damian Lewis is looking at Chase Young only and not looking for protecting the gap. You can see the difference in technique. I'm trying to break down the protection as best as I know. And so I think Miles should have been on the other side of on Bryce, picked up number 1, and then we could do a little bit something better. But Miles is just kind of getting cardio there because the protection isn't set correctly. We'll watch it one more time for him because we've been talking about this play for a while. But like I said, I think they slid it to the wrong side. I feel like the zone side, and like I said, you'll see the 3 linemen. Basically, whichever side that Corbett slides to is going to be that slide or zone side, and the other side is the man on man. And I think since they had way more defenders to the left, you should have put Miles on the left. And then you get man on man. You end up having 3 for 3. You have these guys protecting their gap with the chip there, and you probably have time. Maybe have time to get it to somebody, but I still think the routes were way too long. And next up, man, this is just kind of weird. Look, this is the I thought the design was cool on this. I love, and you get Ja'Tavion Sanders moving across the formation as the lead guy. I like the nice kick out block. Like I said, just get in the way, bro. Get in position. Icky with a nice block on the second level. Mingo doesn't protect the ball. The ball is on the ground. You just continue to shoot yourselves in the foot as an offense, man. This is how games get ugly. Because even when you have a decent design and it's blocked and set up correctly, you get a first down. It happens like this. Now, I know a lot of people are like, why we didn't let Excel do this? Xavier Legette, this is what we drafted him for, to give him these kind of little quick things to get the ball in his hands. And I would agree with you. But Mingo hadn't really been involved much. He actually made a good play to weave through, but he just got to protect the ball. The ball came out way too easy. He had 2 fumbles this game. This is the ball protection level of rookie year DJ Moore. And I said that on Twitter. And this is just not going to cut it, man. Protect the ball. This is just protecting the ball. This is fundamentals. It gets easy punch out. Good blocking like a second level to make that cut. But the punch out, when you're cutting back, the punch out, you got to protect the ball. 2 hands on the ball. And he doesn't. And now the ball's pinballing around. And the Saints get it. Turnover. All right, so this is the same against you again. This is later on, the third down. Of course, they bring a blitz, and I just don't think that we had things set correctly. Like, I don't know. I thought we should have probably slided to the protection to the left where the blitz was coming from. The defense's left, excuse me. But we did man on man, and we were overwhelmed. Meanwhile, you had 3 guys on the left not really blocking anybody. So the slide went to the left, and the back went to the right. Chuba does right. He gets the linebacker, like I said before, the most inside threat, but that leaves somebody free. Moton can't leave his guy just because he sees the nickel, even though we get a chip from Mingo, but it's still not enough. The nickel comes scot-free and just blitz. Like, I think this is just a protection problem and just the design problem. Like, what are the keys of them setting their protection? Because to me, especially with Chase Young dropping, and now you're full. Now you have the slide side. You have 3 guys sliding to the left, but only 2 guys are coming there. And then Hunt passes it off, and Chuba comes back. But by then it's too late. You got 2 guys blitzing from distance, and your quarterback is sacked, and now it's over. It's just a design problem and a protection, in my opinion, man. Like I said, this is just me as a running back, knowing what I would have to do when I played and just how we had a man-on-man side and a slide side. I just think that they're setting protections to the wrong spot. I don't know who's in charge of that. I don't know if it's Bryce. I don't know if that's the keys. They have certain, like, to the field, to the wide side of the field, they do it. But they were blitzing from distance the same way, the same type of blitz, the same men, the nickel, every time. All right, so it's later on, the Panthers got the ball back. I just wanted to show this play. This is something that happened in the 2-minute drill. Watch Deontay Johnson at the top. This is a phenomenal route. I like the way he works this and completely destroys this cornerback here. So watch what he does. And good job by Bryce. When he can sit there and he's sure he has time, protection, no blitz, can rip it. He was decisive, looks to the left, comes back right, throws it in rhythm. Right there, pitch and catch. Now watch Deontay's route. This is art. So the guy's playing off. And so he turns and starts to bail. As soon as he sets him up to go outside, Deontay gives him the outside look for release. So the cornerback immediately opens his hips and jumps outside. So once he does that, Deontay comes back inside and attacks the blind spot. It's called the blind spot because his back is turned. And when his back is turned, he doesn't know where you're moving. So he attacks the blind spot to try to get out of his vision. And when you do that, he's in panic mode. So now he's turning his head again. Deontay still sees that. He still sees, like I said, he still sees that and still trying to get into his blind spot, releases back to the outside to try to get to that, attack the blind spot again. So now the cornerback thinks, okay, hey, this guy's weaving and wobbling, trying to get out to make a go route to get behind me. And now Deontay just breaks it off. And by the time dude realizes it's an out route, he doesn't even see Deontay. He sees the fact that the ball is gone to know that, hey, this is not an out route. I mean, this is not a go route. This is an out route. So this completely turns the guy around by attacking the blind spots. Look, sets him up to go outside. Once he does that, he attacks the blind side by going behind him. The guy tries to turn around to get back in his vision. Deontay attacks the blind spot side again, and then he breaks it out for an out route instead of doing a go route. That's art. There's an art to route running, man. That's a great play right there. This is later on in the drive, man. Even the scramble drill was weird, man. Like, it just seemed like stuff was off. People weren't working to get open. And, like, Bryce was trying to get out of the pocket a little bit too soon at times. Like, because even when he did scramble, guys weren't getting where he wanted to. Like, he's scrambling now. Okay, you got Thielen deep, but somebody's covered there. You maybe got Deontay kind of working, but the ball's already gone by then. But I think Bryce, he has to be a little bit more subtle with his pocket movement. I talked about it earlier on the climb, when he needs to climb, when he missed Deontay. But when you're playing against this Saints defense, they make everything happen in a hurry. They're playing man coverage. They try to disguise stuff. It gets confusing. So you press a little bit. And that's what I think Bryce is doing. Yes, Icky is getting bulled back into you, but Bryce is small enough to maybe step up, get past that rush, be strong as you step up in the pocket, shuffle, and look at Deontay. Deontay, he got open on his route. He leaned into another good route, played off, attacking the blind spot. Look, he wins at the press at the bottom, jumps inside, attacks that blind spot, fakes out again, gives him a little flipper to push off. This is open. But Bryce is already getting out. If Bryce anticipates it a little bit, knows where the spot is, like he typically does, shuffle, he can get the ball out now and be fine. Like shuffle, get the ball out now. Like, cause he's even there. He started scrambling too early. Be patient when you climb. He shuffle to get forward. Be patient to get like whatever, and I deliver. Just wait on Deontay. He's gonna separate, or at least wait for him to do that. You're good because you avoided that initial rush. You know the front. They've anchored. They've done a good job. Good job by Corbett and Robert Hunt to get these guys anchored so Bryce can actually step up. Now sit there and deliver. But instead he gets out and has to throw it away. But I think the opportunity was there if he, like I said, stays in the pocket, shuffle, and delivers from where he shuffled to. He has to stay a little bit more patient. And I know it feels like when those guys get washed off behind you because Icky is running those guys around you, you can't feel them or you can't see them, but you have to still be a little bit patient and hang in there. You got to be a little bit patient and hang in there. I know they're telling you 2.7 and get into the scramble drill, but you have guys still working downfield. It's going to take a little bit longer because that press coverage disrupts timing. So you get that there, shuffle. He did 2 shuffles. He should have delivered. I wanted him to deliver right there. Look, he had the opportunity. Yeah, he avoided that rush. Good job moving in the pocket and navigating. Everybody's hemmed up. You can stay there and deliver. But he gets out, throws it away. All right, let's keep it moving. Next play. This one's going to be a little bit interesting because Icky is going to struggle here. Bryce is going to try to navigate the traffic and get out of the pocket, but there's not really much there to do. I thought maybe he could have just a subtle movement and tried to stay in the pocket because the scramble drill guys aren't getting open, man. And it's just a disaster. It just looks like chaos consistently. Like, look downfield. Nobody's really at the top of the drop. Even if he was able to sit in the pocket, you got Mingo short. Maybe he could throw in the turkey hole, but it's still a tough. They're kind of baiting him. I wouldn't do that either up here to Deontay. He tries to get out, but they're making it tough being disciplined. You know what I'm saying? But it's just nothing there. He could have maybe gave it to Mingo, but just getting rid of it is the best thing to do. I don't look at the tight. Just look at Icky struggling protection. Icky gave up 6 pressures to Chase Young alone this game. This was not a good performance by Icky. Definitely some concern because it doesn't get easier in terms of defensive end. Excuse me. This is even Granderson. This wasn't even Chase Young this time. So he gets blown off that way, gives it up inside. Bryce has his flush. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. Icky is he sets out laterally. I guess he tries to I guess you call it a quick set, but he gets thrown off, doesn't have a good base, and just completely on skates the whole play. And it's not like it was much downfield, but this is just not encouraging for the left tackle here. Icky Ekwonu. Watch it one more time through. But this is just he gets set out there, and look, he shuffles to get out there, and the guy just gets hands on him, gets his hands inside, and just completely throws Icky off balance. Icky needs to try to shoot those hands inside, but the guy just throws him off. He tries to recover, but ugly, man, ugly. Next up, beginning of the third quarter, this is Bryce's interception. Let's watch this as well to see the scramble drill. This is Chase Young now. He gets a little chip and a double team just to try to contain him. Bryce steps up, sails it to Thielen on the scramble drill. This was crazy to me because Bryce is you just don't see this consistently from Bryce in the scramble drill. This is supposed to be where he thrives, and you get an overthrow here. I think at third and forever, what was it, third and 17, bro, you're not going to get it. This is what Bryce needs to kind of step up on in terms of just game managing. Yeah, they're down 30-3, so you're just like chuck it in the air. But like sometimes, man, you can just live to fight another down, man. Like some stuff here, I think he should just go to the check down. Give him a chance, and just if he can get the first down, good. If he doesn't, you get some field position back. But I think after that chip, just dump. Like if you feel like you need to get out of the pocket, nobody's open. Because I don't think Deontay's open. There's 3 defenders around him. Mingo's not open up top. Either. And then you have underneath. Just go underneath. Maybe go to Chuba here. Chuba's one-on-one with the with maybe 1-on-1, 2-on-2, but you can make a guy miss and maybe get those 17 yards. If not, it's whatever. But regardless, he has 1-on-1 with green grass. Just take what you can get and get rid of it. Don't force it. Don't press. You can't get 27 points in one play, but it feels like he was pressing to do that. And I mean, like I said, we were already down at that point, but still, I mean, I don't know if you want to call this an arm punt because it really ain't. He was trying to get it in there. The guy was open, but I just think he got greedy. Like, don't press and get greedy. Just go to your check down. Just go to your check down. Navigate that and get to your check down. Either Jatavian that was here on the sideline to the right, or you can go to Mingo. Or the Chuba. Pressing. Let's get some good plays here. We got trip set to the bottom of the screen. We're going to get some Xavier Leggett action. Our rookie wide receiver matched up 1-on-1 in man coverage, off coverage with the corner, the best corner on the Saints. He's going to have a pretty good route here. Stems inside, attacks the blind spot, breaks to the out. Bryce hits him. Is able to get upfield. Let's run it back a little bit. Let's watch Bryce in the pocket here. So there was some pressure up top. Bryce did a good job kind of buying some time by getting to the right. He kind of got a chip and got beat around the corner, but Bryce feels it, bails a little bit, keeps running, throws it out on the run. It's a pretty good pass, putting it right there out for him on the run. It's not a short pass. Good route here by rolls it. Sometimes you want to square it, but here you're going to roll it. You're going to plant at 10, 12 and roll it and be flat at 15. That's how the route's supposed to be. You don't want to completely square it out. You want to hit it so you can run it with speed. Boom. Now roll it at 12, flatten out at 15. That's a good route. That's how it's supposed to be. I know some people, he needs to square it. Yeah, you're going to roll it these. Sometimes you have to roll it. Boom. Roll it out. Good job right there. Good pitch and catch. Let's watch Icky real quick because that's where the pressure came from against Chase Young. They kind of flushed Bryce. Let's see what happened. Like I said, because there was a chip from Chuba. He was late getting out of his stance. Look at Icky, late getting out of his stance. Late getting out. That's how he got beat to the corner. Fortunately, he had Chuba. Chuba didn't give him much of a chip, but it was enough to slow him down. Bryce felt it, got out there. Yeah, Icky was beat from the jump because it was slow out of his stance. And that's just something that sometimes playing on the road that happens. You don't hear the snap. You don't see the ball move in time. So now you're already behind the 8-ball. Last one out of stance. Out of all the linemen. Push in the bind. Push in the bind. Give up a pressure. Give up a little quarterback hit. Not a great day for Jonathan Mingo. This is going to be one of the most successful scramble drill plays we had all day. Finds Mingo wide open. This is what we wanted to get. The big chunk plays out of the scramble drill. You got to hold on to the football, Mingo. You did all the hard part, man. I know you can even run out of bounds, but it's just been a tough day, I know. But it's just, man. Good job working him at the top. He sees him. He breaks out. Good job finding green grass. Gets upfield on the scramble drill. Bryce puts it right on him. I know you got that nose for the end zone. You want to try to get through, but the guy goes low, puts his helmet on the ball. Kind of funny the way he flipped, but man, that could have been bad. Fortunately, it worked out. His feet were on the white. He ended up being out. I was watching from this angle. This is actually solid pass pro. I think the clock was just running, and so it was kind of collapsing on him, but they kept everything kind of folded. Look at Corbett. Corbett's the only one that isn't getting pushed back. Good job by him catching on, passing the guys off between him and Damian Lewis. Scrambles. Bryce puts it on a good pass. Oof, good thing that foot hit the white. Just a funny looking way that he flipped, man. It looks so funny. It looks so funny. Oof, I know he got a face full of turf. Good thing he got a visor. It's a weird play, man. Good Lord. That's just pretty much how our day went for the team and for Mingo. All right, let's take a look at the touchdown run by Bryce. We're going to be at the goal line. This is 4th down. We have empty formation. So you got trips stacked at the bottom. I thought that this ended up popping open. Bryce, I don't know why Thielen, I mean, they kind of sorted it out, like I said, with the trips. Like, you're only going to be in man. That's what they run down here. So you run a nice man beater. And I thought that, and I don't know who the read is, but I mean, he flashes open. Bryce is looking that way. I don't know what he sees. I don't know if he's looking for Deontay to go to the back pylon and he wanted that and he didn't like it because it took so long, or he was locked in on Deontay, or his clock was just ticking because he felt some pressure up behind him, so he kept going. But Thielen popped at the goal line. Boom, off of Deontay. Thielen popped. That's got to be the primary read, in my opinion. Like, let it go. You see it? Let it go. Throw it low and away if you feel uncomfortable. Throw it at him. He's wide open, but he takes off. He done caught DeMario Davis with a couple nice little crossover moves. He did it last year to him, real nasty. He made DeMario touch earth again. The fumble was after the goal line, but yeah, Bryce, I don't know why he didn't let that go. We'll watch it from the back angle to see if you can see his eyes. I want to watch. We'll watch it here. But this is it was a nasty move, but let it go. Thought he should have let it go. Let it go there. Let it go. All right, make something happen. Take it into your own hands. Oof. Oh my goodness. Look at DeMario Davis. Look how he ends up. Look how he ends up, man. Look at his legs. Look at his legs. His legs are crossed. Oh man. That's nasty. I mean, they won the game, but that's nasty. Let it go. All right, you got a spy. Boom, boom, boom. Oof. Look at them legs. Oh my goodness. Oh no, that very unorthodox move by Bryce. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hit it with that Sierra 1-2 step. All right, I just gotta find some fun in this horrible film that we've been watching. All right, hate to end on a bad note, but it's the last play I want to show this breakdown. The last nickel blitz. This was kind of debated a little bit, but like I said again, I just don't know. The slide side is coming to one, and I think this is sorted out fine. I think they sorted it out fine. Icky gets out of his stance good this time. You see Mingo pointing and saying, hey, hot. Were there hot answers? Let's see. Thielen was short, so maybe, yeah, he could have been hot since he came from that side. But I don't know if Bryce heard the hot. I don't know if, obviously, he didn't hear it because it's loud in there. Maybe. It's late in the game. People might have went home, but maybe he just didn't hear it. But I think they slide the protection to the right, which is cool. They pick that side up. You have a man on the other side. Look, Miles Sanders, he has to get over there and see that. And when you see that, you don't wait and catch. You have to meet him at the line of scrimmage. You catch him, you're just going to get a piece of it. And then you just throw your shoulder into him. This guy is not big. Why are you just like, if it's one thing, if it's a lineman, I mean, a D lineman or a linebacker that may be bigger than you, but this is a DB. He's clearly smaller than you. Why aren't you stepping up? Why aren't you putting your face mask in his chest? As a running back, you got to put your face mask in his chest. Like, this is the DB. You have to make him pay. Make him pay for blitzing. And don't wait. You see it. You're looking. You see it. Get there. And you just throw a shoulder into him, and it's not enough. Like, that's not good enough. Even if you're coming across the formation, you see him coming. Just go. When you see him coming, go. Don't hesitate. Go. You have to meet him. You have to pretty much insert yourself like another offensive lineman. You can't try to catch the block 2 yards from the quarterback, because either you're getting blown back into him or you're just going to get a piece of him and he's going to get the quarterback anyway. You have to go meet him. He's not bigger than you. You're a running back. He's probably about 210. You're probably 220, 215 maybe, at the same size at worst. He's probably not even 210, maybe 200. Like, come on, man. I know he has a full head of steel. Put your helmet in his chest. Put your face mask in his chest, head on head. Don't give him the half shoulder pad, half arm. You got, bro, come on. Half the battle of pass pro as a running back is just effort and wanting to. Like, it's tough because guys are running full speed and you feel like you're catching, but you got to bring something to them. You can't just sit there and wait. Yeah, you mad about it because I think he knows. I think he saw it. He knows. He reacted late. I mean, he kind of got pushed back too, so it was just a meeting in the backfield, man. It's nasty, nasty. Whew, but all right, man, you can see just how bad it was, man. Some good stuff came out. Of course, we got to see some Xavier Legette, a little frustrated with the performances of Jonathan Mingo, Bryce Young, Ike Ekwonu, just the type of things, of course, and just some of the scheme designs were a little bit clunky and funky. We have to figure some things out, man. There's a lot to take away from this film. It seemed like the Panthers were unprepared for this and ran into a buzzsaw. And so how are they going to lick their wounds and bounce back? We'll find out how things go this week as they take on the Chargers in the home opener. I'm hoping they can have a little bit more success from an offensive standpoint and just be a little bit more prepared of what could potentially come. But this stuff is on film. Not only am I seeing it, the rest of the league is seeing it. So they're going to keep doing the same stuff the Panthers struggle with until they fix it. So you can expect to see a lot more nickel blitzes or showing blitz and getting out there until the Panthers figure their thing out. But regardless, I appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Love you guys. We're going to get better through this. Keep pounding. Peace.